All right, so speaking about income, and she said if you got into real estate for flexibility, it's just not going to work. If you want flexibility, go take yoga. Um, and you have to get to a place where you've developed massive discipline in order to have that flexibility in your business. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I want you all to take out something that you can either write notes on. If it's your notes in your phone, that's totally okay. And I want you to right now just write down and be very, very honest with yourself the activities that you are doing in your business currently. The real estate activities that you're doing in your business currently. Just write them down really quick. All right, great. So we can break our, first of all, before I get there, I invited y'all to come to the team meeting today because I said if you need to make money in the next 90 days, we're going to talk about how you do it, right? Okay? And I also told you in that conversation that the things I was going to tell you are simple and they are not easy and they will require work on your part. So we're going to talk about it right now. Everything in your business can be broken down into 3 categories. Number 1, aggressive. Well, it helps if I write with the actual pen. Number 2, passive aggressive. And number 3, passive. Okay? Aggressive is going to get you closings in 0 to 90 days. Passive aggressive is 90 days to 6 months. And then finally, passive is well, we're not going to say never, Karen, but we're going to say 6 months to 2 years. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about aggressive activities first. And don't go back and change anything in your phone. I want you to look at your phone when we're done with this. What are some aggressive activities that you can be doing right now that would yield you business in the next 90 days? Yes?
Door knock.
Door knock, okay. I'm actually going to say door knocking is a little bit more passive aggressive than aggressive. And I'll explain why in a minute. But I'm going to put that one right here. Yeah.
Expired and for sale by others.
Okay. What else?
Follow up.
Great. Yes. SOI. Specifically, though, not just saying sphere of influence with people that are in a pipeline that have already raised their hand and said, I know I need to do something by. And I'm going to say those 0 to 90 day people are people who have told you they need to do something in the next 6 months. Why? Not because buyers are liars, because they don't understand their expectations when they say they need to do something in 6 months. When they need to do something in 6 months, we need to help them understand that their time frame may actually be a little different. So SOI, but specifically follow-up. All right. Anything else?
Past clientele.
I'm going to put that one down here.
Well, it was empty by itself.
Yeah.
Create an event.
Okay. We're going to call that one a little more passive. All right. Yeah, Dan.
Finding distressed sellers.
That's a good one. Distressed sellers. What is a distressed seller?
A divorce, a death,
Either a death or
need to sell,
possibly somebody in financial trouble.
The job, divorce, the job, disease. Yeah, death, disease, the job.
Was it 5 or 6 Ds? We're going to go with 5 for right now. Yeah, all right.
Call and having actually 20 conversations, not call 20 people, having 20 conversations a day with someone related to real estate.
Passive aggressive, 20 convos a day. All right, let's go to passive aggressive then. Any other passive aggressive forms? Yeah.
Open house.
Oh, great one. Open house. What else?
Mailers.
Passive.
Social media, passive.
Social media. Good job. I'm glad you said that.
Community networking events.
Networking events. I'm going to say that's a little more passive.
But you're having conversations.
Yeah, you're having conversations, but unless you're going to networking events where there are distressed sellers that are gathering together, it's not going to be a aggressive activity. When I say aggressive, I'm talking about, look, I know where the money is, and this is exactly what I have to do in order to make it happen.
There's 20 conversations a day, and you can have conversations at networking.
Yeah, of course.
I have two.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wrong.
To go a little bit deep on past clients.
'Kay.
Have a system for that, the DTD2.
'Kay.
So you don't miss anybody in your database, just to go a little bit deeper. And then, agent referrals.
Okay. So agent
So I
referrals
would
is probably
say
going to be under passive aggressive, right?
Passive aggressive, yeah.
All right, anything else? By the way, sphere of influence is in all three categories always. Why? Because we should always be connecting with our database. Now, if we're connecting with our database at least 4 times a year following the DT-D2 model, that means we hit our entire database approximately every 90 days or so, which means we would be in front of them at least once every 90 days. So if there was an opportunity, we would find it, right? Okay? Anything else? Any of these categories?
Investor calls.
Investor calls, okay. What would you put that one under?
I don't know, all my experience is, if you call investors with opportunities and they like what they hear. they're
Yeah,
willing to
I'm going to
do it
say
in a
investors would,
quick time.
investors could go under passive aggressive, and they could go under aggressive if you're targeting them with specific properties. So,
Off-market opportunities, things like that.
all right. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
WhatsApp broadcast.
What?
WhatsApp broadcast.
A WhatsApp broadcast? Okay. I think that's going to be more passive. And that's going to be under social media. All right, so I want you to pull out your phone again. Look at the list that you just created. Before I gave you all of these things, how many of you had activities on there that are going to give you business in the next 0 to 90 days based upon your list that you put together before we started talking about it as a team? Okay? How many of you were more geared toward your list being passive aggressive in 90 days to 6 months? Okay, a few more. How many of you are just realizing that the majority of your list was passive? And it's okay, no judgment here. Yeah, so there's a few of you. All right, so would it be okay to say that we have an opportunity to lean more into the aggressive side of things in our business right now? Yeah, we have a huge opportunity. And if anyone wants to take a picture of this, take it quick, because I'm going back to my other screen here in a second. We're going to talk intentionally about 0 to 90 days. All right. So let me stop the share here. $1,459. Does anyone know what it represents? From what day? Yes, June 1st. As of June 1st in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, there were 1,459 expireds that hit the market on that one day alone. That's huge. What percent of those expired listings are going to relist?
Probably.
A third?
It's actually going to be closer to 75% of them that will relist at some point in time, which is 1,095 of those people are going to relist their home at some point in time. Now, that some point in time may be tomorrow. It may be 6 months from now. It may be that their circumstances change and they don't have to resell for a while. Yet, who are they going to sell their house with? The person who stays in contact with them. So, we're going to talk today about expireds and how you can have conversations with them. So, grab that and just pass them around. We're going to do some old-fashioned conversations together. And how many of you, if I had said we're going to talk expireds today, instead of if you need to close business in the next 90 days, how many of you would have still showed up today? Yeah, okay, so a few of you, if I said today's meeting is about calling expireds, how many of you would have still showed up today? Yeah, there's a few of you that would have. Some of you wouldn't have, and that's okay. The reality of the situation is this. If you want to close business in the next 90 days, you're going to have to do things that other agents aren't willing to do, or that you yourself may not have been willing to do. So I've given you some scripts that are super easy that we're going to go through together as a team right now in this group. So everyone stand up. We're going to do this old-fashioned, bold way right now.
She just called bold old-fashioned.
I did. It should be still going around, but hey, here you go. All right, let's read it together. Hello, thank you for taking my call. This is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. Your house has shown up on the multiple listing service as an expired listing. Since I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time, I was wondering when we could get together for 15 minutes so I can show you how I get houses sold. Now let's go to the next one. Hello, thank you for taking my call. This is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. I'm certain by now you know your house has shown up as an expired listing on our multiple listing service. And undoubtedly, I'm calling to see when you plan to hire the right agent for the job to sell your house. Okay, let's go to the objection handlers. First one is, I'm going to stay with the same agent. That's great. And what I'm hearing is you feel obligated to your last agent since they've invested a lot of time and money in your house, right? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you don't owe me anything, and you don't really owe them anything, but you do owe it to yourself to the very best. I certainly wouldn't want to hurt you to get houses sold, would it? All right, let's go to the next part. I understand. Let me ask you a quick question. If you stay with the same agent, what are they going to do this time that they didn't do last time? I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I actually heard it from one of my clients. Albert Einstein said that doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Ooh, yeah, good one, right? All right, let's go to script number 2. I'm going to sell it myself. They're going to be a for sale by owner. After what you've been through, I understand. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you are generally better off to sell it yourself than to be with an agent who doesn't understand the market. Mic drop, right? All right, let's go to the next part. I can appreciate that. And what I sense is you want to make sure you get the best possible agent for the job of selling your house. What are you looking for in an agent? Yeah, you don't go into bold scripts page 1. That's my notes. Let's go to script 3. I'm taking it off the market. We've decided to stay. I see. Just out of curiosity, if you did sell, where were you moving to? Wow. Why was that important? What would that do for you and your family if you had moved? If I could show you a way to make that happen, would you be interested? You see, I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time. Even the best houses don't sell the first time. And it just takes a new approach and new ideas like I use to get houses sold. When could I stop by and spend 15 minutes with you and show you why so many homeowners choose me to sell their house? Or, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, If a contract was presented to you tomorrow, would you still sell? Great. So there's some desire to move, right? You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I specialize in houses that are great, yet didn't sell the first time for various reasons. Let me ask you, why don't you think your house sold? What will you look for in the next agent you choose? Let's do this. I'll drop by and look at your house. That way you meet me. So at a weak moment, you don't end up with a weak agent. After all, you don't want to put it back on the market later to have it sit for another size months, do you? You don't put in size months, you actually choose the amount of months, 6 months, yeah, exactly. Or, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I could sell your house in the next 30 days and net you what you need, would that pose a problem for you? That's exactly why we need to set an appointment. All right, let's go to the fourth one. I've already found another agent. Have you signed a contract already? Great. I would like to apply for the job to sell your house. After all, I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time. You know, sometimes even the best houses don't sell the first time around. I understand. What I'm sensing is you want to make sure you're doing the right thing, correct? Excellent. You know, if you had to go to a doctor because you had an illness and you found out it involved surgery, would you want another opinion? I know this isn't surgery, and yet it is financial surgery on your house. Let's meet for about 20 minutes, and you will see why so many people decide to hire me over other agents. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you actually felt you could get more money and a quicker sell, would you interview me? When can we get together? At 3 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be better? All right. Now, nobody has an excuse ever again to not pick up the phone and call expireds or not pick up the phone and call anyone for a specific situation. And here's why. There's a tool that freaks a lot of people out, yet it is one of those things that will change your business and your world if you choose to embrace it. Shirley, that tool is ChatGPT. I only say Shirley because she's been giving me a little bit of hesitance around AI, and I get it. It is kind of freaky. So here's what I gave the prompt in ChatGPT. I said, give me a simple script I can use for an expired listing. I am not comfortable calling them, and I am nervous. Put something together for me that should be fairly easy. ChatGPT responded with, absolutely. Here's a simple and friendly script designed to ease your nerves when calling expired listings. All right, so let's do it together. Hi, this is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling because I noticed your property at 123 Main Street was recently on the market but didn't sell. How are you today? Okay, you do not say how are you today if it is the morning their house just came off of the market. How are they today? They feel like shit, their house didn't just sell. Okay? So if you're calling expireds that have been off the market for a little while, yeah, how are you today? If you're calling people that just came off the market, just drop the how are you today and go straight into the next part. Ready? I'm sure that must have been frustrating for you. Selling a home can be a challenging experience, and it's disappointing when it doesn't go as planned. Now we're going to go into building rapport. ChatGPT says we need to build rapport. It's almost like a robot knows things humans don't know sometimes, or don't acknowledge. That's probably the more accurate thing. Do you mind if I ask what your experience was like with the previous listing agent? Were there any particular challenges or reasons you think it didn't sell? All right, let's go to solutions. I specialize in helping homeowners in situations just like yours. I'd love to offer you a complimentary market analysis and some strategies to get your home sold quickly and for the best price. Even if you're not looking to relist immediately, this information could be very helpful for you. Let's go to setting the appointment. If you're open to it, I'd be happy to meet with you for a quick, no obligation consultation. Would today at 4 o'clock work for you? All right, then let's go to the closing. Thank you for your time, and I hope we can find a way to get your home sold. Have a great day. All right, ChatGPT screwed that one up. Thank you for your time, and I know we will find a way to get your home sold.
Yeah.
Okay?
Or ask for their email address and you can drip on them.
Ah, good point. That's where we're going to go next, Dave. Okay, so go ahead and sit down. What have you taken away so far? Don't all go at once.
Simple.
Easy.
What?
Make it simple and easy.
Yeah.
It's we make it way harder than it has to be, right? Now, how many of you feel like I'm going to sound like a robot when I pick up the phone using a script? Yes, you are. If you only practice that script the very first time when you get on the phone, you're going to suck if you don't practice it beforehand. Read it to yourself multiple times. Read it out loud. Read it in front of a mirror. The reason scripts exist is so that you can have something to say and you can actively listen to what they're saying. If you don't have a script, guess what you're doing? While they're talking, you're thinking about how am I going to respond, which means you're not doing what? You're not listening, right? You're not listening to them if you're not using scripts. So, yeah.
On the script, it also helps to write it out as well.
Yes, absolutely. Writing them out.
Few times, a day.
Correct.
And also memorizing.
Yes.
Helps as well.
So I go into Expired today because I want to remind you of this. Many of you may not realize it, but we have a resource. I upload expired listings for you every single morning. And I've moved the location because a lot of people couldn't find it. It's now on kwwaxman.com/stats. I put it on the stats page. The password is legacy, all lowercase. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, the for sale by owner list is there, as well as the expired list. And it is updated almost every single day. If there's less than 5 on there, I didn't update it for the day. I upload it when there's like 10 or more. Every single day, that list is updated. It is checked with the do not call list. It has DNC right next to it. And here's what I want to remind you. Do you remember last week when I held up that $50 bill and I said, who wants it? And Dave came up here and he got it out of my hand? Every single one of those expireds that is out there, I want you to look at as somebody holding up that dollar bill or that $50 bill, or in this case, what's the average commission here in this area? $10,000. They're holding up $10,000 waiting for you to say, hey, you need my help, don't you?
Yes.
You didn't like your experience when you didn't sell it, right?
Right.
So we should do something different?
Yes.
Let's do it. They're waiting for that conversation. They're waiting for that conversation. Yes, and if they're like Jen, guess what? Easy peasy. They're not all going to be like Jen. They're not, Jess, sorry, you said Jen. Thank you. Thanks, Dan. They're not all going to be like Jess. They're not all going to connect with you in the same way. And that's okay. They may connect with Dan better than they connect with Jess. They may connect with me better than they connect with Dan or Jess. They may connect with Jackie better than they connect with me, better than they connect with Jan, better than they connect with Jess. Good Lord, man, I'm really getting screwed up. But here's the thing. They're out there waiting for you to call them. And Dave brought up a great point. Dave said, follow up with them. All right, so here's where we're going into Shirley's favorite moment, artificial intelligence. In a